All right, I need you folks, the three of you, to raise your right hands to be sworn.
You each solemnly state that the testimony you shall give in this matter be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Was that Rena or Tiffany?
Tiffany.
Rena,
I
I need
do.
to. Okay, thank you. Everybody can sit down. I'm not sure exactly what the case is about, but it may be employment. I can't age discrimination, but some type of discrimination. The way that we're going to proceed is that I'm going to hear first from Mr. Moat, then I'll hear from each of the defendants, and then Mr. Moat will get to reply to what they say. We go in that order because the person suing has the burden to win the case. The burden in this court is by ponderance of the evidence. And so that's the burden that Mr. Moat has. So he gets the first and last word in the case. And I have exhibits from the defendants in our exhibit app up. And those. Okay, Mr. Moat, do you want to tell me more about your claim?
Yes.
Hold the microphone closer.
Oh, see, it's loud when it's close. Okay. Better? Good. I went to the establishment. I was talking to
What
a
establishment?
their store. I went to
What store? You give me.
oh, I'm sorry. I went to the
There's two
dispensary.
companies.
I went to the dispensary called in Pacific Beach to get medication.
Which company owns the dispensary? Was it Mission Bay LLC or the Cannabis Company Holding Inc.?
It's called Cannabis.
Yeah, but that's just a name they do business under. Which company owned the store?
Oh, I'm not really too aware of that. That's where the court had to look up who to serve.
Right, but you have to prove it.
Proof.
I can't put a judgment against somebody who doesn't own the business.
I went to the cannabis company and the people that, sorry, I'm confused.
Well, it would be like somebody suing you, but not knowing whether it should be you or somebody else.
I went to the company that these people were served for to ship.
People, you sued two companies. Which one is it, the LLC or the Inc.?
I'm not trying to be difficult, Your Honor. I initially sued.
You say you don't know.
I initially sued the business. Oh, I can say I don't know.
Yeah, you can't sue a name. You have to sue a company.
Well, I initially went to the business where I had my issue, and they told me I can't serve them. It's owned by lawyers, and I had the court look up who to serve.
But you've served two companies, just so you're clear, or you've named two companies. So I'll hear from them and they'll tell me which one of them owes that.
Okay, I did what the court told. I served who the court told me I had to serve to sue this business.
That still doesn't make it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Right. So anyhow, you go to the dispensary called Cannabis. Go ahead.
I went to get medication. I was speaking to an employee. Another employee came out of nowhere, yelled at me I was too old. I apologized for being too old. She again yelled at me I was too old and held my driver's license up in the air and screamed my age out to the business. And then I think she might have reached and tried to slap me. I can't recall. And then I tried to call and get an apology from the managers at that store, the managers at another store. I told them I was going to sue them. And then I got a call from Mr. Schulte in Denver, which is a one-party record state. So they probably did record the call, but I can't prove that. We could just presume that they did.
Was this a manager that yelled at you and tried to slap you, or was it?
No, it was some employee.
I'm talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or was it just an employee?
I do not know. It was someone working there. They could have been a manager or employee. I'm not sure what their title was.
And then what happened after they yelled at you or she yelled at you? It was a female, right?
Yes. And I apologized for being too old for whatever I did. She didn't accept that apology and she got louder, yelled my exact age out with my driver's license in her hand to the entire store, and then kept yelling, "You're too old," as I left the store.
How do you get $12,000? Oh, I'm sorry, wrong number. $12,500.
Yes, Mr. Schulte asked me that question when he called and told me he was going to countersue me. And since I didn't have any money and I was indigent,
How did you get the number?
I just I looked for the average case of, because I looked up my rights as a consumer, it kind of fits in with employee. I know it's not all there.
So what,
I just took the average
let me
case.
ask you a different question.
I took the average of,
This happens to be the maximum you can get in this court.
I took the average of, if I was an employee, if we were both, I took the average of if we were both employees of what my average lawsuit would be in California, and it was like 60,000. So I just was going to I was going to put that, but I couldn't. So I
As
put
an
the max here.
employee, I mean, if you were an employee, but you weren't an employee of.
That's correct. But as a customer, I get some rights as just to walk into your store and not be attacked based on age, race, and religion. So I didn't, and I came to the amount.
What law are you relying on?
The law, I Googled my protected rights are age, race, and religion are protected.
As a customer of a private store?
Yeah,
Every circumstance is different, depends on the setting.
it's a store where I had a medical license to go get medication from.
You have a medical license?
I did have it for marijuana, but now it's just a waste of money because you don't need a license for it anymore. But when it
When
first
did
came
this
out,
happen?
I'm sorry,
What was the date of the
I
incident
believe it was November 1st.
of 2024?
Yes, sir.
That's what your paperwork says. And so did you have to go to another dispensary to get your marijuana?
No, but I wanted to see. I was expecting to not have to say anything because all this.
Did you fill the marijuana prescription?
They did, as they yelled at my age and told me I was too old to be in there. Yes, they handed.
gave you.
After I paid for it, they did.
Oh.
As they yelled at me, they yelled at my personal information, attacked me based on me being old.
Okay. Let me hear from.
Real quick, Your Honor, I didn't expect to say anything because when I first said I was going to sue them, Mr. Schulte called me and threatened me with countersuing. So I'd assume they showed up. This is all on video. There's a million video cameras of this incident of occurring between me and them.
Them to the court?
They have the videos. I can't submit them because they won't give them.
You subpoena them to the court.
I didn't know I had to subpoena them. And
Yeah,
I'm
that's how you
also-
would've- That's how you would have gotten them here.
well, the lawyer threatened to sue me. So I figured he would bring his evidence to countersue me.
They don't have to say a word. They can be totally silent. So anything else you want to tell me before I hear from them?
No,
Okay.
well, yes, one thing.
Let me hear from them.
Oh.
So, Miss Street or Straight, I'll let you go first. You're with the Cannabis Company Holding Incorporated. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes. So that store was holding a Halloween themed event. They had different costumes through the first, and one of our retail associates.
And I
was wearing
object. That has nothing to do with
Sir,
the case.
No
Okay.
objections,
Sorry.
please. It's her turn. So there's a Halloween theme event.
Yes, one of our retail associates who was checking IDs was wearing a costume that involved horns, and Mr. Moat made an offensive comment about whether or not she was horny, and Ms. Reina then stepped in as the manager on duty as the senior retail associate to let him know that that was not appropriate and we would not tolerate comments like that. Mr. Mote then tried to justify and defend himself throughout throughout the store while he was making his purchase, in which at that point in time, once his purchase was completed, he was asked to leave. And we, as a private entity, made the decision to not allow Mr. Mote to shop there in the future to protect the respectful work environment for our employees.
Was it the manager who stepped in? Is that what you said?
She was a senior retail associate, which at the time would have been the acting manager on duty.
She was not.
And that was not the person who was wearing the Halloween costume, though.
No,
was-
she
that was
she
the-
stepped in on behalf of that person to ensure that our expectations were met, which is well
So
within her rights of
why-
her role.
Why would his license have to be looked at?
So licenses they're provided and checked in to ensure that they are valid and that they are of age of over 21 to be allowed into the establishment per the cannabis regulations for the state.
And what about his allegation that his age was published by reading it off of the driver's license?
That would be answered by Ms.
I
Rena.
should answer that question. To answer the question,
Well,
his
wait a
ID,
minute, wait a minute, slow down. Before you do that, who owns this store?
So
it
it
the
is owned by the cannabis.
LLC or the corporation?
So the Mission Bay LLC is the licensee holder, which is owned by the cannabis company. Yeah, Holdings Inc.
So the
As a business.
LLC, it owns the business. Is that right?
Yes,
And the cannabis company, is that the parent company?
yes.
And okay, so Miss Seong, you were going to say something about the license, the driver's license.
So just to get a real quick baseline, customers come through the front window, they drop their ID, they get checked in by the receptionist. My receptionist that day was a newer sales associate. She just got hired about 2 weeks ago. She lets the customer in. I see him. He starts asking me questions about product. We helped him figure out what was what and what deals he was going to get. As we're finishing checking him out, he then made the comment about her being super horny. And it was just very inappropriate, obviously.
Let me
So
stop
I
you
just,
again. Were you were the senior retail associate at the time?
yes, sir.
Okay, I didn't get that in the beginning. All right, I'm sorry. So now you step in. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I stepped in and I asked him, I said that was inappropriate. I'm going to ask you to refrain from speaking to staff like that. Because if I had not been there, who knows who he would have been talking to like that. So I stepped in and asked him to refrain. Instead of apologizing or just stopping where it was, he doubled down and continued to I was just talking to her. I wasn't talking to you. She's not even saying anything. And I said, yes, you just made both of us feel very unsafe in our place of work.
Okay.
He did not
Anything
like
else?
this answer.
What about yelling something about his age or reading his age
I did
off
not
of
do
his
that,
driver's license?
I
Pardon
would
me?
never do that.
Oh my God.
I would never do that.
Okay.
You could ask anybody who worked that day. It would be the same answer. That did not happen.
Anything else either of you want to tell me?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll hear lastly from Mr. Moat. You get to reply to what they said. Anything new or different? Don't repeat anything you've already told me. Anything new or different you want to tell me?
They lied, and I was hoping the judge could request that video to show that they lied, since they swore that they would not, and the judge can watch the video and determine that they lied in their case.
Yeah, I can't.
No, you can't.
You have to produce it yourself.
Yeah, I thought they would put.
Anything else you want to tell me?
I was attacked, and I didn't do anything to be attacked. I didn't attack anyone in the wrong way.
Anything new or different?
No, sorry, Your Honor.
Nope.
I just.
All right, let me make my decision. The burden of proof, as I said, is on Mr. Moat to prove by preponderance of the evidence that his claim has merit. At best, the evidence is equal in this matter, which means he doesn't meet his burden of proof. So judgment will be for the defendants. Thank you, folks. You can disconnect from the virtual appearance. Sir, you're welcome to leave. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Let's go to our